What's up, everybody? It's Friday. How you guys all doing? What's up, Brahma? What's up, Patrick, Chad, Ab? I'm gonna butcher that name, but what's going on, Ab? Nice to see you guys here. Nice to see you guys here. We got a jammed packed show today. Super excited to get this show on the road. Before we get moving though, as always, if you guys would do us a huge favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. We would wholeheartedly appreciate your guys' support in helping us grow. You know, it's a grassroots movement here, guys. We're trying to do it from the ground up. We're trying to do this the right way. So again, any and all support is appreciative. So take a minute. Go ahead. I'll wait. Touch that little like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, yeah, Reese is in the house, guys. Reese is in the house. We're going to get to talking with him in just a little bit. Before we do, though, we're going to quickly run through what's happening with the market. A lot of red again today. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt, a lot of fear, a lot of people running in the streets saying this is it, you know, this is over. End of the month close for options is happening today. Today, guys, it's it's Friday, it's the 29th. It's the end of the month options close, so it's an important day today, guys. We usually do see volatility leading in from Wednesday into Friday after. Usually, actually, Friday afternoon, Saturday morning is when the dust settles. But you should usually be expecting that volatility regardless, especially at the end of the month. It gets bigger and bigger with these option traders as it gets closer and closer to the end of the month. And now that we're here, we are where we are. We can only work with what we got. So let's go ahead and talk about it since we are here. Right now, we're trading for just at $39,000 for Bitcoin. We're looking at the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. Again, we're using Market Cipher as our primary oscillator and indicator tool of choice. You know what? Honestly, not too bad. It's what's up, Blue? Not too bad in my humble opinion with price action and what it's trying to do. It's trying its best to stay alive, guys. Yes, we're not back up to $40,000, but I'll be damned. It's trying its best to keep its head above water. You know, I do think there's still room for downwards movement right now on Market Cipher B, though. Again, we're on the daily time frame. This is a lagging indicator because, you know, this is the RSIs and it's on the daily time frame, so they do lag behind quite a bit. But they are trying to point back up. They are trying right now to point back up. Yesterday, we got that buy signal or that buy trigger green dot on Market Cipher B down here, which is looking like it's leading us back up. Looking like it's leading us back up. It might be something like we did right here, guys, where it might lead us back up to some more price appreciation. As far as how much that is, you know, I'll be honest with you. I've told you guys the past couple of videos, you know, the Fed is positioning themselves to, you know, hike up some points massively in the next 3 months. Like, I really do think, I think, you know, this next month is going to, what were they saying, Nick? Like 75 points?
Yes, sir.
Points, 75, and then they're talking about like maybe even a 50, 25 to 50, you know, if things don't settle off even more. But then again, there is, you know, that talk that people are saying that this is all priced in. So it's kind of, if price action was dipping a lot harder, I would say, like, you know, I don't really believe too much in that price in narrative. But like I said, I'm kind of surprised how it's holding on. It's, you know, the market, it's like a game of chicken, to be honest with you right now. The retail market and the markets are basically saying, I'm calling your bluff to the feds, you know, and the feds they're kind of in that situation where it's like, damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they, you know, they don't want to be the ones responsible, this administration, all this, they don't want to be, no administration, it doesn't matter, you know, what side of the aisle you're on, none of them want to be the ones that bring us into a recession. But they're literally calling, you know, that this is the edge of like us going into a recession, you know, for a number of reasons. You know, obviously they've tried twice now to kind of make things settle off, and it's basically said, no, we're gonna, you know, no, you can't expect to pump this much money into the market and have us, you know, back off now. Like, it's in there. How are you going to take that much money that you inflated into the market away? And so it's kind of like either you crash it or you posture as far as the Fed goes, and you do your best to bring it down. But, you know, honestly, again, I kind of, I'm like more 50. I hate to say I'm 50-50, but I'm kind of that mindset that the markets right now are just kind of playing chicken with the feds, and they're kind of pricing it all in. So maybe we get through this option monthly close, and then maybe we see some price go back up a little bit. We also I will say, are setting us up for possibly the beginning of a short squeeze, possibly. Not quite there just yet, but you know, that that's it. The scenario's there, guys. It's there. We haven't had a squeeze for a good while now. So, you know, it's 50-50. I would just exercise caution. That's what I would promote here on this channel, guys. Please, like I always say, don't front run the market. Let the market tell you what it ultimately wants to do by giving you guys clear signals. Right now, even though on Market Cipher B, we are seeing RSIs pointing back up. We're seeing, you know, buy signals coming from Market Cipher B. I think it's just a little bit too early, guys. I think it's just a little bit too early. If we look at Market Cipher A right here for Bitcoin, really quickly, I'll try to fly through this because I'd like for you guys to get into the meat of today's video. You can see that by the wicks, we're still in this wedge pattern. We could easily come down to the bottom section of support, which is about 37. Realistically, it's about like 36.5 to 37 and still be absolutely fine. We would still be making that slow and steady grind to the upside with the wicks. I think I just want to say though, I think that we need to get through the summer. We need to get into like, you know, quarter three, mid quarter three, quarter four. And then I think, you know, things might really actually be turning around for not just the crypto market, but for the rest of the markets as well. But yeah, that's what I got right now for Bitcoin, guys. We're going to move on into ETH really quickly, 2861. We're just kind of like figuring out what we're going to do with this resistance line right here. So far, I can't even speak. So far, we've been holding up as support with this resistance line. As you can see, this current daily candle has wicked up to it yet again, but it's been treating us as resistance. We have not yet been able to capture it, but we are trending. If you look, if you look on the bottom section of these wicks here, we are trending back upwards. So we're trying our best to kind of stick close to this, which was once support in the past for Ethereum. You know, again, it's going to follow. It doesn't really matter. It's going to follow what happens with Bitcoin. So same thing, like I was saying for Bitcoin, for ETH, just, you know, be careful. Take your time. Don't overplay yourself. Right now, Market Cipher B is showing us, you know, a little bit of, you know, signs of maybe a reversal. But again, I'm just not thoroughly convinced just yet. But that's what I have right now for Ethereum. We could fall anywhere in between these two support and resistance lines that I have right here. And that realistically is anywhere between 22.3 to about, you know, basically where we are right now, 28.92. So that's what I got right now for ETH, guys. Let's move on over to our favorite cousin of the Cosmos ecosystem, Luna and the Terra ecosystem. Look, guys, we're coming down. We're coming down to maybe this 200 SMA. 200 SMA is right on basically $70. You know, I'm extremely bullish for Luna. I'm extremely bullish for the Terra ecosystem. Love what they're, you know, they have going on over there. But again, I've been speaking about this chart ad nauseum. As you can see, I have this alert set up right here at right about $64. If it comes to between, I should say, between the 200 SMA and that alert, which is, you know, $70 to $64, that's where I'm going to start DCAing. By my 50 SMA strategy, we could even come down to about this level right here. Realistically, guys, it's happened in the past, so don't think that it can't happen again. We could come down to 36.24, which is 59.77, average break below the 50 SMA. We don't have a 200 SMA or much to go by with the price action, so we have to go by the 50 SMA. I could have done it by the 100 maybe, but yeah, realistically, guys, we could come down close to that level. Now, we don't have to actually get all the way down there, but we can kind of do something like that. It's not going to be a V-shaped recovery, but we could come all the way down to here before finding, you know, a flooring position and kind of just range like this, or we could wick through it. I mean, it realistically can happen, but I'm watching out. I'm starting my DCA strategy here, 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 and then below here, obviously reinforcing my positions with more positions all the way down. You guys know how I like the DCA. Let's move on over to our love child, which is Atom. Atom hanging out right near that line that I've been sharing with you guys, $20.77. That was 34.14% total average move down once the 200 SMA does not hold up as support. I've been telling you guys that's where you guys should be watching to start a DCA strategy. Not financial advice. This is just like what I'm looking for, I should say. But yeah, I've been sharing that idea and thought with you guys for a while now. We are just underneath it right now. Again, we could come between $70.50, which is the 50 SMA strategy. And that is where I'm going to start really deploying more and more capital, or at least start deploying more capital for Atom. I'm just, again, I actually, full disclosure, yesterday added another 250 Atom to my long-term staking bags. Again, if it comes down below here, I'll probably add another 400 Atom. If it comes down to here, I'm going to add another 1,000. And then if it comes anywhere by, $10, I'm just going to be the whale. I'm going to be the whale, guys. I believe in the Atom token. I believe in the Cosmos ecosystem. I think that everybody else here also believes in the Cosmos ecosystem, in interoperability, and what we have going on in our ecosystem. So again, I don't have to really explain myself or try to convince you guys. I'll never try to do that here, but that's what my plan is right now, guys. On Market Cipher B, I will say we are pretty deep with this anchor wave. And I told you guys, again, I'll try to wrap this up really quickly. I told you guys this kind of looks like, I'm front running this idea, by the way. Doesn't mean that you guys should, but doesn't this kind of look like the form of a head and shoulders kind of situation? Maybe with those waves, right? But the anchor wave is pretty low. We're right around 68 on Market Cipher B. RSIs are getting pretty low as well, right around that 5.1. Guys, once I start seeing rounding happening with the negative money flow back up to the positive, that is where I'm going to get really, really excited. What I'm always talking about, guys, just to give you a quick example, and then I promise you guys I'll be quiet. We'll move on in this today's video. But the rounding position, the place where I actually start getting really, really excited for, the momentum or the trend to change is when I start seeing this negative money flow with this red wave right here kind of round in right here. You see how it rounded in right there, how it rounded in right here, that curvature, that nice curvature. I like curves on my charts. That curvature back up into that green, which leads into that green right there. That's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for that curvature to happen again on the charts. And right now, I got to be honest, we're way in front of that. We're not even close to it just yet. We're still making that dip down with that negative money flow right here, guys. So as you can see with the momentum waves, that red, the negative momentum wave, you can see that we're still clearly making that dip. We're still trying to make that curve until it flattens out and starts curving back up. I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. So be patient, guys. Patience is the name of the game. Don't front run things. It pays. It's better off to be patient and miss a couple of percent than to try to, run in front of the train and be quicker and then get smashed. Like, you just don't. Well, that's not how you make money in this game at all. Patience is what pays off in this game. Practicing proper risk management and sticking to your thesis and plan after doing your own homework. I could tell you guys all of this, but I highly recommend, don't just take my word for it. Go look for the signs and signals and do your own research as well. Figure out what you're bullish on. Figure out who's working on what, because you guys got to follow the busyness. You guys, look for anthills with a lot of ants. You guys don't want to look for, ecosystems that don't have developers working in there. Like, Cosmos ecosystem, busy little anthill. So again, I'm really excited for these opportunities with this downward momentum. I have dry powder ready, like I've been preaching to you guys. Hopefully you guys do too. Hopefully you guys are abusing the relationship between you and your assets and your capital. Remember, you guys want to be the bad guys. You guys want to be in the position to abuse the opportunities when they present themselves here in this game, guys. Be the abuser, be the winner in the relationship between your assets and your capital. Don't be the ones being abused. With that being said, I got some exciting things. Let's see if this works, guys. I got Reese with me. Reese, are you there?
Hey.
Guys, Reese is a validator. Excuse me, I'm dying. Ugh, great time to cough. Is a validator, actually has a validator running on for Osmosis. And forgive me, you also have it running for Craft. And isn't there another project you're running on?
Yes, so I'm running on the Craft testnet currently, and then I'm also on the Dig network. I'm like number 9 on that one.
Awesome. Real quick before I give over and let Reese share his screen, I just want to share with you guys. Yesterday we were talking about it in chat, right? We're trying to get Reese back into the active set for Osmosis, guys. I'm gonna let Reese talk about this a lot more than myself, but you guys heard me yesterday. I really do believe like being able to have more of these validators, especially the ones that are actually writing code, developing in the ecosystem, working on things, and on top of that, running, bare metal at home systems. I can get behind that. So I like, for a lot of reasons, I really would like to see him and a number of other validators get back into the active set. As you guys can see here, this is his Twitter. Do yourself a favor, do him a favor, do me a favor. Follow him on Twitter, guys. We're trying to get him back into the active set. Yesterday, you guys saw it live on stream. I took $1,000 and I just delegated it straight in, and I did my job. I did my job, guys. I tried to no pressure though. You guys do you. But I took 225 Osmo and put it there. So we're gonna do our best to get him up into the active validator set, guys. But with that being said, let me see if I can go ahead and change this on over. Let me see. I'm horrible at this, guys. So let me see right here. Boom. I think that's changed over. Can you guys see him? Hopefully you guys can hear him as well. Reese, let's try your audio real quick.
Yep. Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
I know there's a little bit of a lag, but can you guys see him? Can you guys hear him? I'm going to assume that that's a yes. Let's just open it up and say, if you would, Reese, let us know your background, a little bit about yourself, how you got into the space, the things that you're working on, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
For sure. So I started programming around the age of 12 when I got interested in computers. It didn't really start, though, until about the age of 14. I got into programming languages such as Java, Python, a little bit of Bash scripting with servers. And so I've just continued to learn from there. I got into some legal trouble whenever I learned how to do some actions that I shouldn't have. I had about a $4,000 paycheck that I needed to pay for the lawyer fees and court costs. So I got into Minecraft servers. This is where I started creating income for myself. That way I could pay down that debt that I had. From here, I continued to run Minecraft servers. I mean, really since then. So I guess for the past 6 or 7 years now. And I ran last year the 17th largest Minecraft server in the world with one of my friends named Jay. And we've just continued to go on from there. Within the past 6 months, I found the Craft Economy server. So this is where I decided to, really take on the lead of now taking my experience in Minecraft and now merging that with blockchain and learning that all at the same time. So that's where I've really been focused for about the past 6 months and when I first got into the ecosystem.
Awesome. So a JavaScript kind of guy, huh?
Not JavaScript. I'm actually really bad at JavaScript. I've been trying to learn it for the past 3 years. It's more Java programming, which is kind of like Golang, which is also like Python. It's kind of, they all have similar concepts. JavaScript just doesn't make sense.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't ever get it. Well, let me ask you, so tell us a little bit more about your project with Craft.
Yep. So started Craft 6 months ago. The whole point of it is to merge the blockchain, which is going to be a Cosmos-based IBC-enabled blockchain with a DAO, into a Minecraft server. So we'll have economies like jobs, we'll have real estate, there will also be other functions and quests, and you'll be able to earn craft in-game as you complete the quest, and it's part of our inflationary model. So it's going to allow players to really do something new in the Cosmos space, and you'll actually be able to own the assets that you provide. We'll have NFTs, which are not just normal JPEG NFTs, but it'll actually be linked in-game to real estate. So as you trade these NFTs with other people, you'll actually not only be trading that token, but you're trading the in-game value that provides as well, which could have business aspects such as jobs where you hire people and pay them in craft, and then you can withdraw that craft to Osmosis and trade with other IBC assets as well.
Oh, wow. You know, I do have 2 little boys who I am going to be putting to work on this Minecraft server. Like, I already have this plan that they will be making money through this game.
Yep. It's going to be a lot of fun for both young and old.
Yeah, well, they're going to sucker me into. I always have to play along with them. So I admittingly do find myself quite a bit playing Minecraft with them. So this, when I first heard this, I was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. I can bring my world to their world and kind of tie this all together. This actually sounded like a really now. As I'm saying that, I'm thinking this isn't the first time, the Cosmos ecosystem isn't the one that first invented the whole idea of kind of getting into Minecraft servers and whatnot, or, bringing crypto into in Minecraft. Wasn't it? It was originally back. There were some people working on it through ETH, wasn't it?
Yeah, many of them are doing it in ETH, and the way that they're not actually running the Minecraft server itself, as far as I'm aware. They're trading like NFT assets, and it's kind of like an NFT store, like you would get on like Stargaze. That's what I've seen so far. A couple of them have tried to implement it into the server. However, it's really there's not many features there. So I feel like we're going to have the best offering overall with what we can provide of having almost an entire economy brought within craft, which is where we got the name craft economy.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I was trying to do a little bit of homework, and I was trying to do some comparison, and that was probably one of the main things that I saw, and that I had a question on. It did look like it was basically just a museum of NFT collaborations that they had with these projects that they were just hosting within the game. So I kind of didn't understand that, and looking at your guys' model, having, like you said, a whole economy was a lot more fruitful as far as what you guys are offering to people. So I thought that was really. Now, was that something that became easier to do being in the Cosmos ecosystem and whatnot, in compared to, like, why do you think they didn't do that in ETH? Is it just something as far as like?
Well, I think that the Cosmos ecosystem really brings a unique aspect of the fact that it is proof of stake and it actually works. And so I think that the low amount of fees really help this to grow. Since each blockchain is self-sovereign, we can tailor it to our needs and our aspects and allow that to then transfer to those other assets, such as Osmosis or Juno or whatever you need. So I think that that's really the reason why it works. If Ethereum was proof of stake at the time, it could have been possible for it to work, but the fees are just so high that, making a transaction in game, whenever we have multiple transactions that need to take place of joining job sites, since we're doing all of this on chain as well, it just doesn't make sense for an Ethereum based protocol. And I think that IBC really shines through with that, especially in the Cosmos ecosystem.
Right, right. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Glad you cleared that up. Do you have? I don't know. I was trying to find. I actually just yesterday signed up for the beta, and whatnot. Do you have any footage that you could share with us at all, or any kind of alpha or anything?
So I can share some alpha. We actually have, I believe, sometime today, if you join the Craft Economy Discord, discord.gg/craft economy, one word, you'll be able to join into our server and test our Wildlands feature. So this is going to be a Minecraft server test net, essentially, that you're just going to join into, and you're just testing the Minecraft functions. Currently, we do not have it set up to link with the chain. We're just ensuring that there's no issues on the actual Minecraft experience side. We had one run the other week as well to test, I believe it was Quest, to ensure that those are also bug free. So we're testing multiple things. We're having multiple different test nets, so it can get kind of confusing. But if you follow the Discord, you'll be able to keep up with it.
Yeah, I just signed up for the Discord, admittingly, the other day. I don't know if I should feel shameful about that or not, but yeah, I just did it the other day. So I've been peeking around in there, and definitely will do more. Especially when I have more free time. With that, I like I just said, even on the charts, I do think patience is a virtue, especially in this, regardless if you're a trader or you're an investor, or if you just like development like you're working on. So when you're talking about having to take your time, I think a lot of people can appreciate that, rather than putting out a product that has bugs and has flaws all over the place, especially with a game like what you're trying to present, like Minecraft, and all the little things that can happen in that economy. Trust me, my sons blow my mind when they show me what they do, what they can do, and all this other things. So I'm just thinking, as a parent watching my sons get into Minecraft and all the little things that they do, how much work that you're having to put into to make sure that all these things, these transactions actually go through flawlessly. So I can appreciate, saying that you guys are taking guys' time and waiting. But with that being said, is there a roadmap, or do you guys have a projected timeline of when you guys are hoping at least to maybe get to certain levels?
Yeah, so whenever we talk about the roadmap, we have very ambitious goals in game where of what we're trying to launch with our goals. The limiting factor currently is the blockchain itself. We are pushing the boundaries of what's possible with the Cosmos SDK, and we're building off of at the time, it wasn't even released in alpha version. I believe it was just like a private development version, and it's currently in beta. So this is SDK 46. So that's been our limiting factor. Most of the Minecraft mechanics, as far as I know, are done. It's just the tying that into my integration plugin, and then every other plugin can then hook into that API, which is super simple. So we're really just waiting on blockchain development. If you are someone who knows blockchain quite well, you can check us out at github.com/notional-labs/craft. And you can see our development there and watch as things continue to build up. But At the moment, we're just waiting for a stable version of Cosmos SDK 46. And then from there, we can move into our NFT features. And then we're basically ready to go as our EXP module has almost been completed.
Awesome, awesome. I can't help myself, but since we're talking about the Cosmos Hub and all this other stuff, recently, guys, there was a question, I guess a signaling proposal asking people what they thought about bringing CosmoWasm to the Cosmos Hub. What is your opinion about that?
So for me, I kind of resort to Jacob in this aspect of he knows better where things should go with the Cosmos Hub. For me personally, I think that Cosmos Hub should really lag behind new features to ensure that they are secure since it's basically the main bridge getting onto the network currently. So I think that provided that CosmoWasm is correctly secured and we have a bare bones version of it on the hub, I would be perfectly fine with that. But if they're trying to push boundaries with what CosmoWasm could do with like a new version or something, I think that's an issue. But other than that, I'm open to the idea of having CosmoWasm on every chain. I think that's kind of the direction that we are going to go. From a development standpoint, it's also a lot easier to implement a CosmoWasm contract than it is to write a new module for every single chain and have these all integrate together.
Yeah, I'm kind of, to be honest with you, I'm of the same mindset. I wouldn't mind seeing CosmoWasm on the hub. But my thing is, we have shared security and all these other things, still in the works, still planned. I would just like to see us. My whole thing is security first. If we can get it there and not have to risk, like pushing the boundaries or thinning ourselves out and sacrificing, for this sacrificing security for the sake of more functionality. I really wouldn't mind CosmoWasm on the hub, but I guess I just, I would like to take it slow and ensure, which is, I guess, in that sense, why they did the signaling proposal or asking everybody for their feedback. I really do like their approach and can appreciate that. I just saw it this morning when they posted it on Twitter. I think a number of different validators and developers were asking everybody's thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same mindset. So that's nice to hear that I'm not crazy into thinking like, am I too paranoid or what?
Yeah. And again, CosmoWasm is a really cool feature to be added. And, it's going to be a lot easier to add rather than something like the interchain accounts or something that has to be made brand new since it's already been done multiple times across other chains. So from the security aspect, it is being vetted all the time on every other chain. So bringing it in is a lot easier than adding a new feature.
Yeah, I think I was reading, I didn't have enough time this morning to read everything, but I was reading through the notes that they provided and whatnot, but they've already basically tested out modules and like theoretically it can be implemented pretty easily, like you're saying, right?
Yep, and it allows chains to then create basically new modules during runtime, which is super awesome. So currently with the craft economy, we're trying to implement it's a DAO within it as its own token. So craft economy is going to have two tokens. It'll have the craft coin and then EXP as the other one. The EXP is the governance token, and then the craft token is the IBC enabled, all the normal transactions. So writing that EXP module has been extremely difficult. And so if we tried to scale that module up to other chains, it would take an immense amount of development work. With CosmoWasm, provided we did it in CosmoWasm, any other chain can just grab in that contract and it's ready to go. Mm. So it's a much quicker process from the development side as well as the scalability side.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about your guys' token. Can you tell, of course, everybody always wants to know about airdrops and whatnot. Let us know about that.
Yep. So we have the two tokens. It's Craft is our main token, which you'll transact with normally. And then we're going to also have a token called EXP. So the EXP is, again, a governance. And the way that it works is that you have to own this EXP token. It is not transferable to any other accounts. You mint it from the DAO. You'll hold it in your account, and now you can vote with it. You can stake it, and you'll earn the Craft rewards. From there, then after the certain vesting time, which would be thrown in the governance proposal, you can burn your EXP back for Craft or another asset. So we'll have ETH, Bitcoin, Atom, whatever other asset that the DAO owns, you'll be able to withdraw. The DAO will also hold things like NFTs as investments. So it's kind of like I don't know legally speaking, but it's kind of like a fund where that way that we'll have a DAO fund and then everyone can pull in and out. From the airdrop perspective, we'll only be airdropping the Craft token. The original EXP will be just from our initial investors, and then from there, governance proposals will need to be submitted to add more people onto the DAO. Since the DAO does control the Minecraft server, we have to ensure that everyone provides value who is in the DAO and is voting on the governance of what needs to be done with the craft server itself.
Right. Okay. Is there a white paper or anything that people can try to do their homework with as far as like initial investors, or any kind of like lockup thing or information that they can try to read about that's available?
Yep, so we have a few things. You can check our website at blog.crafteconomy.io, and it'll have the airdrop, a rough formula that we're going to follow. It'll also go into the tokenomics of what the craft is and things like that. You can also go onto the Notional Labs GitHub. So that's github.com/notionallabs/craft. And there's a boring.pdf. This PDF goes into the whole tokenomics of how EXP works and how the burn module is going to work, and the staking, as well as like the inflationary rewards and all of these different things. So that way you can really research about like, what are we doing here? And so that should help out a lot for anyone that is interested.
Nice. And I did just drop in chat, guys, some links to the Twitter account and also their main craft economy. Moving on and segueing, unless you have anything else that you would like to add about craft, I would kind of like to pick your brain about the alliance.
Yeah, so I think that does cover a lot of the craft economy side of things, but the Bare Metal Alliance is really the new thing on the block. So the Bare Metal Alliance, for anyone that doesn't know, is a validator set where the validators themselves own the hardware. So typically for a validator, you run this in the cloud. So you purchase something from AWS or Akash or OVH or Hetzner. And so these are cloud service providers where they have a big warehouse full of these servers. One of the security risks of a Cosmos SDK chain is that the staking needs to have 67% of the voting active at any time, for that way the chain doesn't halt. So recently, I believe something like Asset Mana went down, and so 90% of their voting power goes down. The chain's halted. No one can do any transactions until those servers are up. This provides a risk to any chain which is hosted in the cloud, which is a majority of them. So what Notional Labs decided to do is to create a bare metal alliance of a group of individuals who own their hardware in their home. So currently right here in front of behind my monitor, I have my server running for Osmosis, and then I also have a dig server as well to host it out of the data center. So if a data center was compromised, goes down, a fire happens like did happen back in 2019, we still have our servers online. It's fully decentralized and it's more spread across the US than a data center can be. So that's the goal here, is to just have validators that own their hardware to confirm that their keys are safe, that we are producing blocks, and that we are more decentralized than we currently are.
Right. You know, we both live in the same state. I don't know if you remember this. You probably do, obviously. But to kind of just push that point a little bit more, things happen, and you would never think going about your day-to-day life, guys, because we're so conveniently just trenched into our habits. But recently here in Nashville, we actually had an incident downtown where a individual set off a bomb in an RV and destroyed a center that brought down all of the cell towers and an internet service for, I think, what was it, AT&T and several others. But things like that are, you know, they happen all the time, and to have these gentlemen, I shouldn't assume, these individuals running their validators, they're bare metal, not to say that again, validators themselves, is very, very beneficial as far as the health goes for multiple different networks, not just Osmosis, but if they're running it on different, you know, like they said, Asset Mana or whatnot, we need more people actually running these validators themselves physically. Again, so that was one of the big reasons earlier when I said I really do want to promote and get these guys back on the active set. Remind me, I know you sent me the list. Who are the people that are in this alliance, and who are we trying to help get back into the active set?
Yeah, so I'll run through that in just a second. I do want to add, for anyone that is unaware, that the validator business, especially at the top of most sets, is extremely lucrative. So these validators do rake in a lot of money from their commissions, which of course you can see on the chain. So I just want to run by the mathematics on it, is that my server alone is about $1,400. So for most validators, they could probably earn this in, you know, maybe just a few days time. So it's not a very difficult thing so long as they have an internet connection. If you do, or if you are interested, you should really talk with your validator on Twitter and to engage with them to, further decentralize the network. Notional Labs has posted a guide called Closet Validation. I'll send you that link in a minute. So that way that you can follow through the exact guide of what do you need to build, how do you need to do it, what are backup systems that you can optionally add, and then you just take a picture and send that to Jacob, and it really does help from Notional Labs. So from the aspect of who is actually in the set, we have Notional Labs, who is the the creator of it. They kind of run it, and we work together. Then other members that we have who are in the Osmosis set are Consensus One, Cosmos Spaces, Coldy, Nos Nodes, Chandra Station, who is actually building a data center rather than just running it from their house. We will have Stake Frida's Sunshine Validator, and then as well as PBCUPS. And some of them are also on the Juno network and Atom network as well.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, guys, I will actually, hold on one second. I think I can actually link that in chat so that you guys can, do your homework, guys. Go ahead and take a stick and poke around and take a look at some of these validators. Go scroll down the list and even click on the next tab over. I know everybody's always so focused on the top 10. It's unfortunate, but people just look at the, who has the most and they throw their delegations that way. That's not how it, in essence, that is what's best for the networks, guys. But give me a second here so I can go.
Yeah, and that's really an issue with the way that the staking currently is that whenever I joined into the network, I just delegated to stake.fish on Atom because they were the top one. I'm like, well, they're at the top. There needs to be a way to allow for people who do contribute to the ecosystem in other ways, such as, whether that's running a relayer, that's actually contributing to code on GitHub, or some other way to also gauge how much they focus on the community. Now, it becomes more difficult whenever we get into things like marketing. So how do we put a value on someone who is bringing new people into the system, such as Citadel One or Chandra Station? That's much more difficult to put. But I think that's something more than just people who just sit there and just collect the rewards, such as I believe one of the ones that's most hated in the community is the Wasmington, who's at the top, where many just see him. He kind of posts on Twitter every once in a while, but many dislike that because he doesn't actually add value to the ecosystem. So
kind of just rode that hype train. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird balance of how do we more properly inform users and allow for a better scaling of the solution for those that actually do. Notional Labs has talked about, and many proposals have been tried to be passed, where we incentivize people, even at the bottom set, to have a fully income. I believe it's about $150,000 per year. That way we can bring more engineers into the set. That way that there's a way to fund them and allow for further development. And currently we don't have those sorts of capabilities. So that's been where people have been working on.
Yeah, I agree. It is very frustrating to see certain individuals. And again, just to kind of go back, and it sound like I'm beating a dead horse. But that's why I strongly suggest that you guys take a look at your do some digging, see I know I don't want to put Jacob on the spot or Notional, but he recently just lowered his fees, but his fees were higher recently than a lot of others. But you guys got to understand, he's actually running physical hardware. He's actually deploying and developing things, really working in not just, Osmosis, but multiple different protocols. And he's really pushing the development forward. And there's multiple others, not just Jacob, not just Notional, but there's multiple others, kind of like Reese was saying, that are really driving value for these ecosystems. And we have to find a way to kind of get away from that the way of thinking, or that way of just throw it at the one person that has, whatever the top 10 validators are because they have the most delegations or whatnot. It really doesn't help anybody when we do that. But yeah. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse there. So I will do my best. Go ahead.
One thing with Notional too is the reason they had such a high fee, I believe it was 9.6%, is because they also run relayers. So for anyone that doesn't know, relayers actually cost them money. I believe it was close to $250,000 per year.
Relayers are the unsung heroes of all the networks. Like I say that all the time. People don't even understand what relayers do. And I'm like, if we didn't have them, and they get peanuts, if anything, to do what they do.
Yeah, for relayers, most pay out of their pocket. So as far as I know, like someone like Larry's Steakhouse, who he goes out of his pocket because Luna fees are so extremely high, since it is a different kind of coin and it is mixed with Ethereum. So I mean, again, Notional pays, I think it was about $250,000 a year, and that plus they have to pay their staff, where he's got 7 members plus himself. That's expensive to run. So the reason that he was able to lower his commission is that he's had so much community support to gain delegations, provided he did. So that way that if he doubled his, delegation amount, that his lower fee would offset that. So
You,
that's kind of where his mindset was when it came to lowering those fees.
I would love to ask you, since obviously you're actually doing it yourself. I've always wondered this question because, like you said, they basically come out of pocket as far as being a relayer. Why do people decide to be a relayer if it's that hard? Like,
So the only way currently that you can actually run a relayer is to validate as well. This has been a major talk in multiple spaces hosted from Cosmos that I've seen Jacob in, where it's like, how can we incentivize more people to relay, but not have to have them pay out of pocket or not have to have them actually validate? So if we had part of the inflationary model to have a fund set aside where these fees, and then every month we pay, I believe Luna is doing something like that. So a lot of the validators who are relaying, which there's only a hand select few, off the top of my head, I know, we have Larry Steakhouse, we have Notional Labs, we have Strange Love Funds, which is run by the Jack. So there's these different, you have to really look into who's actually building the tooling, who's validating, and then once you get who's validating, then you can see who is relaying as well, but it's difficult.
that's just, I guess that totally slipped on my mind to think that you need to be validating to be relaying. So, wow.
Yeah. And that's the only way, because I mean, they're talking about how we can, again, move it into a fund, but currently that's the only way unless you pay out of pocket, which case, your job has to subsidize it. And as the ecosystem continues to grow and IBC continues to grow, it's only going to put further stress on people's wallets. So we definitely need a better solution. Think we have a little bit of time, but that definitely needs to be on everyone's mind for the future development of the Cosmos space.
Now, with shared security, how is that going to change? I guess the game. I would say I'm air quoting right now. The game, as far as being a relayer in the ecosystems, how is that going to change? Would that be ultimately a lot more lucrative for relays for validators?
So from the validator perspective, yes, because now we're almost running multiple chains off of a single chain. So for example, if we have Atom and you had another chain who wants to use shared security and use that chain, now validators can earn more of a commission, more fee, which gives even more reason to join the Bare Metal Alliance because of the higher fees and the higher income. So it allows for easier development of other chains. So that way that we don't need to bootstrap a validator set every time. We can already use the software and hardware that's already provided off of one chain. So that definitely helps. From the IBC perspective, it's still like I'm not sure on the actual technical details of it, but I would assume it's similar to how a normal chain would work, where you would have different channels on like the sub chain. So I'm not able to really speak into that too much, but I think that it would definitely increase relayer cost, but from the validator perspective, it would increase fees as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or commission income.
Right. Allowing them to kind of eat that cost for relaying and stuff like that. That's
absolutely
interesting back end stuff that usually most people take for granted and don't even think about.
And it's so new. It's always changing. So you learn it one day and the next day a new bigger protocol's built off the top of that. So it continues to evolve. So really awesome.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm kind of running out of questions unless Nick has the chat dropped any questions at all, or is there anything else that you would like to? I actually do have a question for yourself. Are you looking to get into any other chains that are already out or maybe coming in the future?
So from a validating perspective, no. I am interested in relaying. However, financially, I can't support that to be able to learn that. There are some things going on behind the scenes that will allow me to help manage more chains and to really push for the development of all of the IBC ecosystem, but I can't announce anything yet. But there are definitely some things on the table, and I'm super excited.
Oh, come on. Every interviewer is always like, oh, man. Well, I'm actually, let me ask you this. Is there anything coming up in the Cosmos ecosystem as far as a project that's outside of your own project, obviously, that you are excited for? I know a lot of people, even myself, are excited for and whatnot. And I'm actually kind of excited for Archway as well. Are there any projects specifically for yourself that you are interested in and have kind of like at least tugged on your ear or maybe perked your ears a little bit when you heard about it?
Yeah, so the main product I'm really interested in, excluding craft, is Juno. That's really been kind of my core holding. I believe it's about 70% of my crypto portfolio currently. I really like the Juno ecosystem. It has a very competent team of developers. So that's where I've been focused. From an unreleased chain perspective, I would say Nomic BTC. That's really interesting to me because being able to have the validator set as like this kind of multi-sig to then be sending Bitcoin transactions on the actual network through IBC is quite new, and I really like that. So I'm continuing to research into that, but it's still new to me. Other than that, I've really just been focused on the craft economy itself and the development of it, which has been quite spectacular.
Yeah, I'm sure that eats up a lot of your time. Well, I'm glad, like a lot of us here are also very bullish for Juno, especially, unfortunately, we're going through what we're going through with the situation, and it is what it is, guys. But like I've said many times here on this show, Juno is probably, it's not my biggest holding, but as far as the Cosmos ecosystem goes, it probably has now become one of my biggest holdings, and I'll still say it, guys. I'm not selling any of my Juno. The first 3 years, the inflation rates and just the way the structure is presented is amazing. I will not sell it for the first 3 years at all. This will all, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, not Reese's, but it will all work itself out. It still is what it is. It's a great protocol as far as the smart contract goes. The possibility to the upside, not just for price, but for development and everything else is still really, really high, guys. But again, that's just me. That's just me. And also, I love the fact that you talked about Nomic because I've been compounding my Nomic every single day. And I hope you guys have as well. Do not sleep on Nomic. You really have to go and dig for announcements or, any kind of development. But if you guys are actively on the GitHub and you guys are seeing what they're doing, you can see that they are active ants in their anthill. They are still pushing and they're still working on things. I'm telling you, once BTC can come on over easily, it's that's another, like you said, fascinating thing. So I really do hope, I'm not going to say I hope. I think it will turn out to be something pretty cool. But I think those are, again, I agree with you. Probably some of my two biggest things that I'm excited about. Like I said, I am excited about Noah. I'm excited about Archway. Nick, is there anything you're excited about in the Cosmos ecosystem that we haven't talked about? I feel like Nick probably fell asleep.
No. I want to see development in Juno, where that's going and what's heading. Passage is another one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be pretty big. I kind of want to ask you this, Reese. I know Dig, for example, is a real estate company. But do they plan on going metaverse with you guys in craft?
So, that's actually,
that's
I've
a
not even
good
thought about
question.
that. Yeah, that's so good. I need to talk to Jake about that. Like have a virtual real estate.
Where's
That's
Jacob
really
at? Where are
good
you
idea.
at, Jacob? We need you in the chat right now.
I'll definitely bring that up with Jacob. I don't think we've thought through that. And we could actually interface with it because Dig just added CosmoWasm in the 2.0 upgrade that we recently did about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we could have a Dig chain as the real estate chain for the craft economy. So we can definitely like merge these things together, that's really interesting. From the metaverse side of things, I believe Dig is more focused on the fact of it's holding real estate through the blockchain ledger, which is actually seen by the state as being owned. So, for example, if you're in some state, you have to talk with each county commissioner and whatever the case may be to then get it confirmed. So that way that we can sell real estate on the blockchain and people can either invest into your homes. You could do, like dividends back, but you kind of own it like as an NFT, but you actually do own it legally by the state. So that's kind of the focus on it. They recently had a thing with the British Virgin Islands to set up the holding company so that way it is a legal entity. And then every Dig chain currently is the main parent chain. And then for every area that we decide to, or that Dig is able to get approval for, it'll spin up like a child chain with IBC enabled. That way that it conforms to the laws and regulations of that area. And then you'll be able to still transact with the main parent chain for security. And with interchain accounts, I'm not sure how far this can go, but it could be that the child chain is able to use ICA interchain security to build off of the parent chain, which would be quite unique. So there's a lot of development with Dig, and that's why I'm really excited about the Dig project as well.
Dig. I've talked about this personally on my channel before even being into crypto. I've been, I'm a very well diversified investor. I own multiple medical companies and real estate. I actually was a realtor here in the Nashville area for years. I worked out at Keller Williams Green Hills, Nashville for years. It was one of the biggest Keller Williams offices in the Southeast. So when Dig first came out, I got to be honest, I was very much intrigued about their whole approach. And I think even when I first realized it, and even now, I will say, and this is just my opinion, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to say it's ahead of its time, but it's not a bad thing to be ahead of its time, because that means, that's the moment and opportunity that you want to get into. I honestly think it's only a matter of time until everything is on blockchain. You're talking about being able to, verify ownership of land or real estate in many different ways, right? Or fractionalizations or whatever. But, think about when you're able to own not just real estate, but, your medical records, your anything, assets that you have for the county and stuff like that through blockchain. It's so being ahead of its time. It's only a matter of time until these states, these government entities or regulators, whatever you're talking about, start adopting this and see the benefits, because it cuts out so much waste when it comes to, I can't tell you how much paperwork and how much running about and back and forth with several different entities when it comes to real estate that you have to go through to buy commercial land, to sell commercial land, to buy residential land, just to make that transaction happen, when it could be cut down by half being on blockchain. So I really did think, I'm really, really bullish on Dig and what they're doing there. The great question too, Nick. We should have Jacob and Reese. You know what? I would love to facilitate a interview with all of the Bare Metal Alliance and get you guys all on here, so your guys' voices, because I think, honestly, we said this a million times, this is Reese, why we started this channel. One of the biggest downfalls that we have here in the Cosmos ecosystem is that we lack the ability to promote what we're doing, and not just for a hype train for our projects and what they could potentially do for people's profiles or bottom dollar, but as far as the technology goes and what we're actually developing and what we're actually seeing people work on within the space, to be honest with you, I mean, we have a few avenues, and people are, like Rama and like some people on Twitter and stuff like that, they're picking up the batons and they're trying their best to push this out there to the space. But one of the main reasons why we started doing what we wanted to do here on YouTube with IBC Gang is we wanted to have a place to be able to showcase and have these developers like yourself and people who are involved in the ecosystems, pushing it forward in whatever capacity that they're doing, have a space for people to come and hear it from their own mouths, instead of reading it on a Twitter, reading it on a GitHub or a Medium article or stuff like that. Like, putting a face or a voice to projects, I think has a lot of worth. So I would love to have you guys, Reese, if you're up for it, and Jacob, and as well as the rest of as many of you guys can in the alliance, to come on board and talk about the things that you guys are working towards and why you guys think the way you guys think. But I've absolutely enjoyed this interview 100%. I really do appreciate your time, and yeah,
We got one question.
Shoot it. Go ahead.
So this is from Rama. He said, "Hey Reese, for someone interested in moving from software development to blockchain development, do you have a quick 1 to 3 lines of where and how one would go about that?" Question.
Yeah, okay. So it depends on where your background is in software development. For me personally, I would say that you need to learn a object-oriented language. So that would be something like Golang. You should learn the easiest one, if you don't know an object-oriented language, is start at Python, and then from there you could move to or Java. So if you know one of those 3, you're in a really good spot. Blockchain development for the Cosmos ecosystem is in Golang, which it's kind of similar to Python, but it has some weird quirks about it. So I would say that once you learn Golang, it's pretty easy to read through the code. You really don't even need to learn Golang. I believe Notional, like most of them, have not learned Golang. They just know how to do blockchain things. So then you just go through the Cosmos docs, which I will admit, and many will admit, are not the best. But that is somewhere that I'm going to be focusing on after Craft launches, to increase the docs, increase readability, to increase that. So currently it is very difficult to get into the ecosystem, but many are going to be working on trying to lower that bar, so that way that we can have more developers. So, I mean, again, learn Go, And then once you learn Go, you're pretty much set to just start messing around with the chain. And it'll probably help to have a little bit of Linux experience since you'll need to be running 2 different servers. But the new SDK 46 allows for a testnet to be done extremely quickly. Like I can have 20 validators in about 4 seconds. So it makes it super simple to secure a chain locally and to start testing the features that you do implement.
Nice. Nice. Any other questions, guys? Well, if that's being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Again, Reese, I really do appreciate you taking your time and talking about, guys. Don't forget to go check out Reese and PCBCUPS. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. PBCUPS. I always say that wrong. On the Osmosis validator list, we're trying to get them back into the active set, guys. Again, you guys do you, but I highly suggest helping these individuals who are, you know, like I said, doing the work, running their own hardware themselves. So, guys, do us a favor, do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor. Go check that out. With that being said, we're going to get out of here, guys. You guys have a great day. Reese, thank you so much, buddy. Look forward to talking.